homestead. Today we're going to be working in the barn. We're going to be cleaning up, getting some fertilizer out of there. I have a helper here with me today. His name is Baden, and y'all will see him working out there in just a minute with us. Hey, Well, first of all, some of you may be wondering, why didn't we just go to the store and buy some fertilizer? Well, one being, it costs money to buy fertilizer, and two being, we have a lot of fertilizer right here in the barn that we need to clean out of the barn anyway, and we just as well put it into our gardens where we can use it. The next thing you may be asking is, what's the difference between using barnyard fertilizer or synthetic fertilizer? Well, I'm going to try and answer some of those questions during this video. One of the differences is the nutrient availability and the long-term effects on the soil, plants, and the environment. Another difference is the nutrients that are contained in synthetic fertilizers as compared to organic fertilizers. In synthetic fertilizers, it's mostly what we refer to as NKP. That'll be the three numbers you see on the front of the bag, referring to how much nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium is inside of each of those bags. Those types of fertilizers, synthetic fertilizers, start with naturally occurring mineral deposits and or nitrogen in the atmosphere, and are mostly and almost always comprised of only NPK, which is nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. The next question is, how long does it take for these fertilizers to break down and reach the plant roots to feed the plants? Synthetic fertilizers break down faster and are much more concentrated, making it easier to burn plants. Organic fertilizers break down slowly and improve water retention into the soil, and in time, they add structure to the soil. All of these things provide plants with the nourishment that they need for robust growth. When applying fresh manure to a new bed, allow 3 to 6 months before planting for the manure to decompose, which will reduce the risk of nitrogen burn, which can harm your plants. It's generally safe to use barnyard manure in your garden, but composting and allowing it to age is advised for the best results and safety. Aging the manure kills pathogens and eliminates weed seeds. Different types of manures from different animals do provide different nutrients. Sheep manure is high in nitrogen and phosphorus, while goat manure is high in nitrogen and potassium, and chicken manure is highest in nitrogen. Soils are depleted each time something is grown in it, except nitrogen fixers such as legumes and clovers. Growing soils have to be replenished each growing season. Most fields in America are stripped from the heavy pull of nutrients for growing on the same land areas over and over each year for decades. Only nitrogen, potassium, and phosphorus are added back in. Where does that leave nutrition? In the crops that are grown and consumed. This is why growing your own food is so important. You have a better chance of getting the right nutrients out of your food. You can control the nutrients that go into the soil and goes into your plants and goes into your body. After all, a plant can only be as nutrient dense as the soils that they are grown in. Long story short, organic farming tends to enhance soil, and conventional methods tends to degrade it and disrupt soil life. Therefore, I personally am more inclined to trust the more natural approach. There's a lot of information out there on the subject. I encourage you to do some looking into it for yourself. That makes 134 5-gallon buckets of barn manure that went into this garden today. So as you can see, there's a lot of work involved with it. You gotta rake it into a pile and shovel it up in some buckets and move it to the tractor, and then Mr. E will take it over to the garden. Baden is working hard, y'all. I'm so glad he came help us because I never could did all this by myself. Well, it's nice and clean in here now. It's a lot better than it was. 134 buckets came out of here. That's nice. It took us about 3.5 hours of actual work time to complete this job. I was glad that we had 3 of us to do it because teamwork helps, and it's nice to be able to work together and talk and laugh while you're working. It makes the time pass by, and I was glad to hear when Baden said that he enjoyed working. I enjoy working, and so does Mr. E. When we was done, we was glad to be done. We all slept good because we worked hard. I look forward to our next adventure. Thanks for watching. I hope you'll subscribe to our channel to help it to grow. If you enjoyed this video and would like to see more like it, please hit the like button. Understanding is a fountain of life to those who have it, but folly brings punishment to fools.